शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारस्त्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्त्वन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So you can follow after me. मौन व्याख्या प्रकटित परब्रह्म तत्वं युवानम्। मौन व्याख्या प्रकटित परब्रह्म तत्वं युवानम्। वर्षिष्ठान्ते वसतऋषिगणैः आवृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः। वर्षिष्ठान्ते वसतऋषिगणैः आवृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः। आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रम् आनन्दरूपम्। आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रम् आनन्दरूपम्। स्वात्मा रामम् उदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे। स्वात्मा रामम् उदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे। वटविटपि समीपे भूमिभागे निषन्नम्। वटविटपि समीपे भूमिभागे निषन्नम्। सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारात्। सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारात्। त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवं। त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवं। जननमरणदुःखछेददक्षं नमामि। जननमरणदुःखछेददक्षं नमामि। चित्रं वटतरोर्मूले वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा। चित्रं वटतरोर्मूले वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा। गुरोस्तु मौनं व्याख्यानं शिष्यास्तु छिन्न संशयाः। गुरोस्तु मौनं व्याख्यानं शिष्यास्तु छिन्न संशयाः। निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां। निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये। निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. So again we'll do 5 verses and perhaps today will be the last time you can follow me, and after that hopefully we'll do it together. Om Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam. Om Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam. पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया। पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया। यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोध समये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोध समये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः माया कल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं माया कल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकम् असत्कल्पार्थकं भासते यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकम् असत्कल्पार्थकं भासते साक्षात् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान् साक्षात् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान् यत्साक्षात् करणात् भवेन्न पुनरावृत्तिर्भवाम्भोनिधौ यत्साक्षात् भवेन्न पुनरावृत्तिर्भवाम्भोनिधौ तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये नानाछिद्रघटोदरस्थितमहादीपप्रभाभास्वरं नानाछिद्रघटोदरस्थितदीपप्रभाभास्वरं ज्ञानं यस्य तु चक्षुरादिकरणद्वारा बहिस्पन्दते ज्ञानं यस्य तु चक्षुरादिकरणद्वारा बहिस्पन्दते जानामीति तमेव भान्तमनुभात्येतत् समस्तं जगत् जानामीति तमेव भान्तमनुभात्येतत् समस्तं जगत् तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये देहं प्राणमपीन्द्रियाण्यपि चलां बुद्धिं च शून्यं विदुः देहं प्राणमीन्द्रियाण्यपि बुद्धिं च शून्यं विदुः स्त्रीबालान्धजडोपमास्त्वहमिति भ्रान्ता भृशं वादिनः स्त्रीबालान्धजडोपमास्त्वहमिति भ्रान्ता भृशं वादिनः मायाशक्तिविलासकल्पितमहाव्यामोहसंहारिणे मायाशक्तिविलासकल्पितमहाव्यामोहसंहारिणे तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये So you wanted me to go over the first verse again, is that right? Okay.
5 minutes.
Oh yeah, okay. So Vishwam Darpana Dishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam Pashyana Atmani Mayaya Bahirivo udbhutam yatha nidraya, etc. So here the Anvaya Artha, what Swami Maheshananji calls Sanvaya Artha. Anvayaha saha vartate iti sa Anvaya. Anvaya means, because this is a poetic verse, it's a poetry work of poetry, then to rearrange it in a prose form is called Anvaya. So it means you change the sequence of words so that it becomes a little bit more understandable to the human mind. It's called the Sanvaya. So here he says, Yaha nidraya iva mayaya. So atmani nijantar gatam. So Yaha, he translates it as Paramatma. The Paramatma, which is actually the very form of the Atma. Atmani nijantargatam. It is in the Atma itself. In the Atma means it is the Atma. It is the Atma. And this is one of the things that we have to really progress to understand. Our normal feeling is that I have consciousness. That is how we behave in our lives, that I am conscious. You know, when you say I'm conscious, that means it doesn't mean that I am consciousness itself. See, this is how the words are used in your vyavahara, in your transactions. When you say I am conscious, so you'll say I'm conscious of the fact that there is a change of government. I'm conscious of the fact this, so on and so forth. So there, in the usage I am conscious, the result of that is that I am possessed of consciousness. And this is a problem because this is not true. So if this were to be true, who are you? If you are possessed of consciousness and you are the possessor of consciousness, then you must be someone. You see, you must be someone who possesses consciousness. Who is it that is the possessor of the consciousness? So that we don't inquire into. We say, I don't know, you can give your name and your body and sex and gender and all of those kinds of things. You can say that I am the possessor of consciousness. But really speaking, and this is the issue, because the jnata, the jivatma, is not fully inquired into. And so therefore you just stop at saying, I am conscious of this. Then I lost my consciousness. See, that's another thing. You can say, I lost my consciousness. The fact of the matter is you lost your mind. You cannot lose consciousness. Why not? Because you are consciousness. Otherwise you'll die. And of course they say, okay, so let me die. So what's it? There are a lot of people who die. No, they don't lose their consciousness. They lose their body and mind temporarily. They stay as consciousness. So when you say yaf nidraya iva mayaya atmani nijantargatam. So nijantargatam means that it is very close to you, means it is you. It is you. Anyway, so here, so one make a note of that in this sequence of the Anvaya. Nidraya iva mayaya. And we've gone through this before also. So nidraya iva mayaya atmani nijantargatam vishwam bahihi udbhutam. So this the Paramatma, which is nijantargatam, appears to be outside of me. as a Vishwam, as the whole samsara. It looks outside of me. And so how? Through Maya. So then an example is given right away. Nidraya iva. Nidraya iva means, just like, as we've talked about it before, that the sleep is not just a simple word, sleep. It's a very powerful force. Undefinable. You cannot really define it. We define it by saying that we are not awake. So you have to rely upon another experience called waking, and then you say the absence of that is a sleep. In fact, sleep is an independent force. And it's a very, very forceful force. Because imagine what it does to you. It does so many things. It's just amazing. Even before it readies you for a dream, it transforms you into a dreamer. Before even that point, imagine what it does for you. It disconnects you from the whole world. It completely disconnects you. Amazing. I mean, there is just, you think about the enormity of what sleep does. It is mind-boggling. I mean, you know, supposing, I sometimes think about it, that supposing there is a murderer who just murdered someone. Like, can you imagine murdering someone willfully also, not even an accident, willfully murdering someone? What must be going through his mind? I just met with parents of our friends of ours from Ahmedabad, and we've known them for a while, and they're about my age, in the mid-70s, I think older than me. And so they have come to visit their daughter here several times. And so we have become friendly with them. They are followers of Jain. They're Jain people. And about 3 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, her husband, who was really very healthy for all his life, very well disciplined, never really had was sex on, was discovered with a 4th stage stomach cancer. And the local doctor said maybe 4 months, maybe 6 months. And do not try, there's nothing you can do. Stomach cancers are terrible because they're very pervasive. It's not like a single point where you can take it out or anything like this. But it is just distributed, it gets distributed very quickly. So what are you going to do? To take the whole stomach out? You'll die. Stomach cancers are terrible. So it is definitely, I mean, I hope not, but it's terminal. So, so their daughter, all their kids are here, so they brought them here all of a sudden, and then they said, you know, let's show it to a Stanford doctor, and so on and so forth. So chemotherapy has started, and so on. So my wife and I went to visit them just a couple of days ago, the day before yesterday. And we were just talking to them, and, you know, and so it was interesting that, so the wife was saying that I cannot relax. Can you please teach me some? And the husband, who's really terminally ill, he's saying, you know, it is all the Ishwaras. He wasn't using Ishwara, some other word. He was some Jain one he was using. Mahavir, I think he was saying. Let Mahavir decide whatever happens to me. I'm okay. I'm reconciled with it. But his wife was really distraught. She was very emotional and so on. So she was saying, Vijay bhai, please tell me, show me some meditation. So they're just going to India for the next couple of days. I'm sorry, in the next couple of weeks. When they come back, then I told them that we'll do some meditation. And in the meditation, I have a secret plan. And the secret plan is that in addition to just the preparation for meditation, I will also tell them a little bit about the reality of the Atma in the meditation itself. without using Vedantic terms or anything like this. So let's see. I'm currently looking forward to it to see how it comes. Anyway, so what I got distracted, but what she was saying was that all day long, this is an absolute shock to her to lose a husband all of a sudden like this. She just is distraught. She cannot really think. She cannot just do straight and so on. And the only time when she's free from all of that is asleep. The sleep is a very powerful thing that disassociates you from all problems of life. Whether you murdered someone or you just got a terminal, the doctor's orders that this is not curable, whatever it is. So it's not an ordinary thing. And so just like, and the sleep is part of Maya. You see, sleep that's just a small sample. And what Maya does, which I think you will see in the Sureshacharya's Vyakhya will come, the Maya makes things that are impossible possible. That's powerful. Even the sleep is so powerful, let alone what Maya is. And so imagine what Maya does is to hide the fact that you have nothing to do with this world. You're an independent entity. And you are in fact nothing but the very form of Parameshwara, not the form, but the very nature of Paramatma. It hides you from it because we all believe that how can it be? You to tell somebody that, you tell somebody says, ask you, what do you do? What kind of, do? So we said, well, I teach Vedanta. So what is it the Vedanta does? So it is really to tell everything about yourself. So he says, why do you have to tell me? I know everything about myself. Why do you have to come and tell me about what myself? And so the firm belief is that I know things. Maya says you don't. What a powerful thing. How it hides yourself from yourself. Incredible. So anyway, so he says, Yaha nidraya iva mayaya atmani nijantargatam vishwam bahihi udbhutam. Bahihi udbhutam. And so, the example, which is a really beautiful example, is that it's like you're a wave in the ocean, and all you see is other waves in the ocean, which is the Vishwam for this wave. You don't see the water. You don't see the water which is your content, and you don't see the water which is others' content. You miss that completely. Water is not easy to miss because it's a dravya, it's a quant. But what makes consciousness so hard to see is because it has no form. So it's easy to miss. Anyway, as a result of that, then everything looks outside of you. And what the looking of outside does to you is it diminishes you. Because if a wave doesn't know itself that I am really the water, not the wave, then it only looks at other waves as reality, and as a consequence, it only looks at itself as the wave only. This is what the Maya Shakti does. So he says that. So when you say it projects the Vishwam outside, what it means is project your limited nature because of your projection of the outside. And so because of that, so yaha nidraya iva mayaya atmani nijantargatam vishwam bahihi udbhutam yatha. So yatha actually now it is the real example. Now it is the real example. The first one was just the phenomena. You see? So, yaha nidraya iva mayaya atmani nijantargatam vishwam bahihi udbhutam. Up to this point, yatha had not come. So, yatha means in the manner, like this. In which manner? Darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam pashyan prabodha samaye advayam eva. So he says that now it is the real example that just like you have a reflection of a complete functioning city inside the mirror. That's exactly what happens in the in sleep also. That and this is all will come in the bhashyas, in the tikas and so on. So I won't go into that. But essentially, this is exactly what happens. That so here is a beautiful example. Normally, you only give the example of sleep, a dream. But here another example is given. That you look at the whole scene in a mirror, beautiful mirror, clean mirror, and there are lights and there is traffic and so on, and there is no light, no traffic, because it is only nothing but in the mirror itself. But the mirror has the ability to reflect all of the reality. So just something like that. So he says, while you are seeing it, so pashyan, just this is the last thing, pashyan means it is a present participle. While you are seeing it, prabodha samaye advayam eva swatmanam sakshat kurute. So this is an important thing that while it's not necessary that you shut your eye and then you realize the Atma, when you understand the Atma. In fact, that is very faulty, because why? What will happen is that, and this is exactly what happens in Samadhi. When you have the yogic Samadhi, just like sleep, there is no experience of duality in Samadhi. You feel like it is you just see yourself as the consciousness. But the fact is that you have not yet fully explained what happens when you are not in Samadhi. So what happens is that when you come out of Samadhi, you don't like it. In fact, it becomes more of a burden. You want to go back immediately to Samadhi. I remember in our class also, there were a couple of people. There was one gentleman, his name was Jim. What was his last name? I forget his last name. Wonderful guy. And he had done a lot of bit of meditation before he joined the course. And he's a very good meditator. He could really just go completely into himself. And he would do meditation several times a day. And he was very fond of it. But if you observe him, he didn't like not doing meditation. As though meditation was his out. It became an experience for him. So Swamiji worked very much with him. And so he used to ask Swamiji, how much meditation do I do? And Swamiji knew what his background was and so on. So he says, not much. So he says, no, Swamiji, this, that, or the other. And Swamiji also wanted to give the example to the others. Don't be like Jim, sitting there in meditation all day long and so on. You have to, so this is what is called Sahaja Samadhi. This is a technical word used. Sahaja Samadhi means that it is a natural Samadhi. Well, we will talk a lot more about that. And so why I'm explaining that is the word pashyan. So the word pashyan means present participle. It means that while you are participating in the activities of the world. And so he's praising Dakshinamurthy. He says, O Dakshinamurthy, who has shown me the clear vision of myself while I'm looking at the world. So he says, Darpana Dishyamana Nagari Tulyam, just like the image of a city in the mirror. Pashyan Prabodha Samaye. So all these words will be explained in great detail in the subsequent one. So I'm already spending too much time on this. So Prabodha Samaya means when clearly the teaching is given that don't you see that you are the very consciousness where all the external things are nothing but a superimposition upon it. Superimposition upon it means just like you have ornaments. Ornaments are a superimposition upon gold or any other silver or something. So there's no reality. Vacharambanam namadheyam. There's no reality to, it's just a name. So similarly here also we go through life with just a name. That I'm sad, I'm upset, I'm relieved. These are names. Really? So it means that these are just perturbations on the consciousness. A seeming perturbation. There is no real perturbation possible. Anyways, that's the Sakshat Karanam. So he says, while I'm seeing the world, you make me see myself. So I don't have to go to Samadhi. It is a Sahaja Samadhi. And so, oh Lord, thank you so much. Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye. The one who takes the form of a Guru. Shri Dakshinamurthaye Idam Namah. My namaskara to you, who is able to, by explaining that the reality about myself while I am actively involved in life. That is amazing. And so my namaskara to you. That's the first verse. Then I think we had already started. We did what, a couple of verses? Is that right? Number 8 and 9 maybe?
8 and 9.
Right. So let's quickly go into that. Anta asmin ime lokaha antah vishwam idam jagat bahirvat mayaya abhati darpane pratibimbitam. So just like you have a pratibimba, just like you have a reflection in the mirror, and so here then the comparisons are made exactly the same way, which is explaining the first words, which we've already done that anta asmin ime lokaha anta vishwam idam jagat bahirvat mayaya abhati darpane pratibimbitam. And so it means that just like you have a reflection inside the mirror, which is not really outside of it, it is really just inside of it. Similarly, you have the reflection of the Jagat inside my mind. And so here in this comparison, especially when we do those of you that are attending the Saturday morning class, you will see that the progress in understanding myself will depend upon the extreme similarity between Jagrat and Swapna. Right now we have a huge difference. We feel, oh, this is real and the sapna is not real. The dream is not real, this is very real. And we have our own reasons. We have our own reasons. We feel that the dream was just, it only is isolated. It doesn't repeat itself. Therefore, it cannot be real. Whereas the Jagrat Avastha is repeated itself. Like that, we have our own reasons. And it turns out those are not the real reasons. The real reasons have to be done with something that has a beginning and an end is not real. Not the length of it. The length of it doesn't make any difference. Anyway, so we'll do all of that. So in summary, if we begin to see the extreme similarity between Jagrat Avastha and Swapna Avastha, we will really make progress about this. And so here also it just starts with it. It hasn't really given us the logic yet that both are very similar. They are both inside of me alone. And so that was verse number 8. Then number 9. Swapne swantargatam vishvam yatha prithak iva ikshyate tatha eva jagrat kalepi prapanchaha ayam vivicyatam. So exactly this is what I was saying earlier, that just like you have to understand that what the mechanism, see, that's the word I think I would use, is the mechanism of the dream is the same mechanism of the Jagrat Avastha. The process. Yeah. How it happens, this I have to understand. There's no similarity, there's no difference. Very small difference. One happens quickly, the other one takes a little longer time, that's it. But the mechanism is the same. And in fact, this will come up Swamata eva arthanam sattananyati nishchita kaha jagrati vishesh. Yeah, so it will come in the next one. It will come in the next one. He says, what real differences are you talking about? Anyway, so that's it is Swapne Swantargatam Vishwam Yatha Prithak Iva Ikshate Tatha Eva Jagrat Kalepi Prapanchaha Ayam Vivicyatam. May you do the Viveka. Vivicyatam means that with the Viveka Drishti, with the discriminative Drishti, may you see that it is very similar to that. So that's all it says. Then in number 10, we should just pronounce all the new ones. Swapne swasatta eva arthanam. Swapne swasatta eva arthanam. Sattana anya iti nishchita. Kaf jagrati visheshah asti. Kaf jagrati visheshah asti. Jada nam ashunashinam. So now, starting with this verse, the Sat aspect of the similarity of Swapna and Jagra is given. The Sat aspect. Right? And then, so in this number 10, and in 11, yeah. So in 10, the Sat Chit Ananda, the Sat aspect is taken up in number 10, and the Chit aspect is taken up in number 11. So make a note of that. Okay. So in number 10, what it says is, Swapne swasattairva arthanam Satta nanyati nishchita. Actually, you know what? I was reading the Anvaya Artha. The real one should be Swapne swasattaivarthanam satta nanyeti nishchita ko jagrati vishesho asti jadanam ashunashinam. The same thing, just the sandhi is different. So this one talks about the satta. Satta means that the presence of things. Not the knowledge of things, but the presence of things. And the presence of things is non-separate from the knowledge of things. But they are two separate aspects of the same creation. If you know something, that means it must be there, or at least appears to be there. So without jnanam you cannot have satta, and without satta you cannot have jnanam. Nevertheless, it is good to analyze it from both aspects of it. So the first one is Swapne swasatta eva arthanam sattana anya iti nishchita. So he says, look at it. In the dream avastha, in the dream, the satta of the presence and the reality of the swapna depends upon your reality. Right? It is not, doesn't have its own reality. So here, Swami Maheshanandaji's commentary, he says that this is important to see, that in the night time you have a dream where the sun is shining. And the sun shiningness comes from you, the consciousness, along with some kind of a reflection in the mind. There's no sun shining. Even though it is dark completely, not even though, it is dark completely. The sun cannot shine. Another example he given is that you find that, let's say you remember your parents, and all of a sudden you see your mother talking to you. Your mother has been passed away for a number of years, is gone. But in our memory, we make her alive. She says to you, Vijay, where were you yesterday? You didn't call me. And so she's not there. So that satta of the mother being alive and the sun being shining really depends on you. It doesn't have its own satta. It doesn't have its own satta. It borrows it from you. Just like an ornament borrows its satta from the content of the ornament. It doesn't have its own satta. Similarly, so swapne swasatta eva arthanam. Arthanam means all the experienced things in your dream. Swasatta. Swasatta means atma satta. It's your own satta. It's your own reality. Here, all the various Upanishads, etc., they all talk about that you do not have the samagri, you don't have the space, you don't have supposing there is a war going on in your dream, you don't have enough space for the war to go on. You need some space. So you create the space. You create the space. And really speaking, you should see this. This is the thing we have to see. Is that when we see the sun and the people outside, the reality of the sun outside also comes from your satta. Pure satta. And you can say, how is that possible? Just like it is possible in dream. There is no difference. In dream also you create a satta. You mimic it. Not mimic it, you make a reflection out of it. So then you say, well, that was the dream, but this is real. Because there is a sun and so on and so forth, and people are different from me. And in fact, the sun is, this is the argument that goes around. This is how you question it, to say that the sun will stay while I'm gone. So that has more reality. What are you talking about? The sun has more reality than I do. Really speaking, you are the one, along with others. So this is the thing, that our swapna is designed by Ishvara so that many people can jointly dream. It's something like that. There you have an individual dream. This is a kind of like a social dream. But in terms of the solution to our worldly problems, I really have to see everything from my perspective. And in fact, if I am asleep, just look at this. If I am asleep in the middle of the day, there is no sun for me. No sun for me. I created everything. I decide when, what happens, and so on. And so it is, I have to solve the problem while I'm alive. That really speaking, all the things that I see around me come from the Atma itself. And so the dream is a very beautiful example. That just like in dream, you also create things. You create light in the darkness. You create live bodies when they are dead. You create a war when there is no war. Similarly here also we create the sun and the live bodies and all kinds of things. And so that's what it is saying. Swapne swasatta eva arthanam satta swasatta eva na anyatha iti na anya iti nishchita. So there I am very firm about it. So he says, Kah jagrati vishesha asti jadanam ashu nashinam. So this is what I was saying in the previous verse. He says, please see what is the vishesha, what is peculiar about the Jagrat Avastha. And we can say, no, I mean, that was just a dream. This is, the same sun appears again. Those will be refuted. Those kinds of arguments will be refuted later on. So it means that for a Viveki, there is no distinction, no Vishesha. There is no complete Vishesha between them at all. What is, and as I've said this many times in my classes, this is one of my original contribution. Very few of my original contributions. Most of them are all borrowed from one Swami or the other and so on. But this one I believe is my contribution. My contribution is that because an ornament, a fake ornament is poorly made or well made, that is not the logic whether or not it is real or not. So when you have a very poorly made ornament of some kind, you get it from $5 from some shop somewhere, or you can go to Bloomingdale's and pay $150, which looks like it's $1,500, but it is good enough. You can fake everybody. You can fake everybody. It's $150. So you cannot say that yes, the $5 one is really bad, that is fake, and the $150 one is real. You cannot say that, because the logic is the same for both of them. The logic is you have to rub it and you find out that the gold is just kind of some plate. There's no gold. So similarly here also, to say that this is just a quick acting dream, and this is a long acting real life, therefore they are different. No. Long acting is like a Bloomingdale life, and the short acting is just the dream. That's not the way to continue. You have to say, does it have the ability to affect me? And can it be? So here, for example, this is interesting, the word Ashunashinam. Ashunashinam means that the one which comes and goes. Very quickly, Ashu means goes quickly. So you say, well, real life doesn't go that quickly. It goes very quickly. Do you remember any of your previous lives? You don't. They're gone. In terms of your own longevity, it's gone. Just like that. And so that also, it may a little bit longer than the dream. And is for the convenience of your transactions, really. That's all it is. The convenience of your transaction, because if you have to change your family every night, every day you have a brand, it is not possible. It's not possible. Then, so you have to have the same wife, same husband, same food, same problems, everything for a while. Yes, some changes are possible. You can divorce your spouse after a while and you say, I want to get a new one. Yeah, you can do that if you want to, or change houses, etc. But really speaking, they don't last. We had many spouses in our previous lives. We don't even remember their names, thank goodness. It'll be a huge problem. Swami Dayanand used to say that. He said, you have a big problem with one spouse. How can you? He used to wonder, this Elizabeth Taylor, who was married 11 times or 9 times or something. He says, how can they do that? We know some people here, for example, where they have divorced, and both have got remarried. So now, and then they got remarried and they had their own children.
My children.
So now they have our common children, or my children from my previous wife, or your children from your previous husband. So there's 3 categories of children. And it's a big problem because whenever there is Thanksgiving, then what do? So there's only one Thanksgiving feast. We are aware of that. I'm telling you, this is real stuff. Huge problem. So just for transactional purposes, Ishvara says, listen, just have the same experience for a while. And while you're having the experience, try to figure out that this is just a false experience. That is the progress that we have to make. So anyway, swapne swasatta eva arthanam jadanam ashunashinam. So, in these simple 2 words, jadanam, ashunashinam, is a great truth. Great truth that we have to really meditate on, honestly. What it means is, there are really 2 Chaitana Vastus. There are 2 Vastus in creation. One is Chaitana Vastu and one is Jada Vastu. And really speaking, initially there are 2, but they are really one and the same. But initially they are 2. And the characteristic of Chaitana Vastu is, it is not Ashunashina. It does not change. It is the same. And the characteristic of Jada Vastu is, it comes and goes. And another thing is that it depends upon, this is already what he said, Swapne Swatta Eva. And Ka Jagrati Visheshaha. Jagrati Vishesha also says that the Satta of the Jada Vastu depends upon the Satta of the Chaitana Vastu. So this is a great definition. Jadanam Ashunashinam. That you can define a Jada Vastu as one which comes and goes. without affecting the Chetana Vastu, the self. Anatma and Atma. So anyway, this is just one. Then, now in the verse 11, as I mentioned, the same logic appears in the chit, in the knowledge aspect of it. So, swapne prakasho bhavanam, swapne prakasho bhava, swaprakashan nahi taraha, swaprakashan nahi taraha, jagratyapi tatha veti, tathaivetya, jagratyapi tathaiveti, jagratyapi tathaiveti, nischinvanti vipaschitaha, nischinvanti. So he says, swapne swaprakashad bhavanam prakashaha itarahi naha tatha eva jagrati api iti vipaschitaha nischinvanti. So he says that vipaschitaha means a vidwan, a viveki, who really goes into the depth of things, doesn't just accept it on the surface of it, but really understands the very reality of it. That person, vipaschitaha, they ascertain this. What do they ascertain? That in the swapna avastha, in the swapne, swaprakashad bhavanam prakashaha nasti, itaraha nasti. Other than some other prakasha, they don't have their own light. So the same example of the sun. So not only the presence of the sun, but the light of the sun, the jyoti of the sun, the jyoti of any bright object, actually, for that matter, comes from the Atma, not from itself. And if it was itself, then you don't need here, this will be discussed in more detail later on, that what happens is that in the Jagrat Avastha also, you need, in order for your experience to fructify, you need your sense organs to bless the outside things, and you need your Atma to bless the sense organs. So this kind of a combination of the Atma plus your sense organs plus the objects finally result in your saying this is a shining object. And if the Atma is taken away, which is never is, if the sense organs are taken away, then the thing stops to shine. Stops to shine. Here is where, so for example, I was just going to say something. Yeah, I know, it's interesting. The Atma is the one that has to bless whether an object is shining or not. Here, it just came, this just experience last a few days ago. So, my wife's sister and his wife have a dog. And this dog is about 13 years old. A small dog. I don't know what, I don't care much about their pedigrees and so on. I don't know anything about that. I don't know what kind it is. But anyway, it's 13 years old. And so my wife's sister-in-law was just telling us a couple of days ago that he cannot see from one of the eyes. So when she said that, something just occurred to me. I said, you know, this is very interesting. Swami Dayanand used to say that. So I went into some meditation when she said that. I was just thinking a lot about it. So Swamiji said that when he first came to this country, he was told, Swamiji, West is very advanced. Now we'll get you the best medical care. Your teeth will be just best. and your eyes will be taken well care of, and so on. Swamiji says, oh, that's wonderful. I've always had problems with my eye, and now I can go to an optometrist, and then, it'll be perfect. So Swamiji goes to this optometrist, and so the optometrist gives all these things, and so, okay, how do you like this? So Swamiji says, you tell me. So optometrist says, what do you mean? He didn't say that, but Swamiji said, wait a second. I have to tell whether I see or not. The instrument doesn't tell me. The only instrument tells me is that they change the lines and so on and so forth. But really, I have the one who says, I think this is better. No, the other one was better. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the first one is better. Swamiji says, I came out thinking, my goodness, they used to do the same thing in India. What is the big thing, technology about here? They're asking me, and I'm never sure whether I did the right thing or not. It is astigmatism or not, and so on. He says, I come out completely dissatisfied, that maybe I made the mistake. That I used to get, that happened to me also a couple of times. I get some new glasses, which I don't get. My eyes are pretty stable. But once in a while, I get some new glasses. I used to say, I think the old glasses were better than this one. So with this background, there's some truth in this. Just look at it. My wife's sister-in-law, Amita, she was saying that this brownie is not seeing through an eye. So I was saying, this is very wonderful, very interesting. Brownie cannot say, see, this is the difference between animals and human beings. Very interesting. The animals cannot say, I do not see. Their minds are not developed. They don't see, that's true. But they cannot feel or say that my eye cannot see. So if that is the case, how do you know that his eyes don't see? I asked that to Amita. I said, Amita, how did you know this? Because doesn't it the person has to say that? She says, yes, that's a good point. But what happened was that the fellows went into bumping into things. And his left eye was not working. So if he has to go to this side, he bumps into a wall. And he says, even otherwise, we could see his eyes were kind of glazed over. So we went to an animal doctor, and he said, yeah, it doesn't look like his eyes are working. But there also it's an anumana. It's just a postulation. The Atma has to, this is the point. You see, this is the point, that the Atma has to say, Chetana Vastu has to say, I don't see, I see, and so on. And the animal kingdom is not allowed this. They are not progressed enough to a point where they can do that. But human beings being totally different, it's a different level altogether. It's so different from it. And the other thing that I remember Swami Dayanandji was once mentioning is that the human beings are the first being that can smile. Animals cannot smile. They don't have that element of sukha dukkha, of the subtlety of the smile they don't have. And seeing a smile in a small baby is a wonder. Really is a wonder. That when the baby can see the same face and all of a sudden the lips just part. Amazing. Incredible. And the parting of the lips is an expression of recognition of the mind. Great thing. And then our sense of joy and sorrow and so on and so forth is just amazing. Very different from the animals. Anyway, that's just a distraction. But the main thing is that the Atma has to really, you can block off the sun. You can, and yet you can see. So the Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam kutoyam agni tameva bhantum iti bhat anubhati sarvam. So the Surya is a very interesting thing, that you have a small light that can light up things. And the Surya can light up a lot. It's very powerful, the whole sun. But the Surya cannot light up the things that are subtler than itself. So the Surya is made out of the tamapradhanaha vastu, which is electrons and protons lighting up and so on. But the mind is sattvaguna. And the Surya cannot light up the sattvaguna. But the Atma, there is nothing more subtle than the Atma. It lights up everything. It lights up the sun, it lights up objects, and it lights up your thoughts. And believe it or not, there are yogic practices which are unnecessary but possible, where you can read somebody else's mind also. And so those are possible. And at the very most, we can read somebody's mind from their expression. If the person is very quizzical like this, then you say, oh, not happy, not a happy person. I remember this advice that I got from Swami Paramarthananda. Very useful advice, really. I mean, all these things where you see somebody and you meet people and how this all arranged by Ishvara, really. So in the year 2000, maybe 2001, I'm not sure, one of those 2 years, I was at the Anaikatti ashram, and all of the Swamis were there for, I think I've told you this, but so anyway, all the Swamis were there, and we were learning one text by Puja Swamiji. I think it was Brahma Sutra. And I still remember that so well. He was talking about the section on Antaryamitvam. It's just small, it's like a 2 or 3 day camp. And so we were all invited to that. Even non-Swamis who had completed the course were invited. So there I met Swami Paramarthananda for the first time after he became a Swami, because I had seen him when he was a brahmachari, long time ago. Or I think I've seen it, I'm not sure. But anyway, for the first time, and by that time his fame had already started to spread. And so even in the 2000, my friend Swami Siddhabodhananda, who was my classmate from PRC, he introduced me and he said, this is Swami Paramarthananda. So I said, oh Swamiji, I'm wonderful, nice to see you. Then I said, Swamiji, I'd like to come and talk to you. So he says, yeah, come to my kutia. And then so next morning, before breakfast, I went to see him. And so he was asking me. So he knew kind of who I was, because I had also completed a course, and he was and I was the secretary of the Arshavidya Gurukulam, Arshavidya Pitham. And so when the break came with Swami Chinmayananji, then Swami Dayananji had asked me to be the secretary. So I had some visibility outside. So Swamiji knew who I was. So anyway, he was asking me, so what are you doing? So just those days, I had had a heart attack and a heart bypass. And so I used to teach in my home in Los Altos. And then after the extended medical leave, then those classes just sort of withered away. And so I told Swamiji, I said, Swamiji, I'm not teaching right now. So he says, I think you should get back to it. So, and then he could tell that without waiting for an answer as to why I should be teaching, he gave his own answer. He says, you know why teaching is so important? He says that it is easy to fool your own mind. You feel, oh yeah, I've read it, and let's go to the next chapter. Yeah, it's all done. He says, when you start talking and you look at people's faces and you say something, and then somebody has this look, hey, what is this? then you say, this guy is not clear. Then you have to go back and clarify it. Otherwise, because people's expressions can belay their thoughts. And so, yeah, the Atma can not only see your own thoughts, but also to a certain extent others' thoughts. But the Atma is subtle enough to see everything. History. In the future, etc., we don't need to see. You don't need to see. It's not important for us to see. But the present and the past we can see very well. That the other things cannot see. So the jadanam, ashunashinam, like sun, it cannot see everything. It has some very particular ways of looking at it. But the Atma is different. And so it is the subtlest, and it's able to see everything. And so where were we? Yeah, so he says, Swapne prakashaha bhavanam swaprakashat nahi itaraha jagrati api tatha eva nischinvanti vipaschita. So he says that we should now extend the same logic to Jagrat Avastha. What logic should we extend? That without me, the world cannot shine. Cannot be, it is not. So perhaps we'll do some meditation on this also. Swami Dayanandji was quite insistent on this part of it. So in summary, the world needs me to validate it. I don't need myself to validate. I am a self-validated person. This is the difference between Chetana Vastu and Jada Vastu. The Jada Vastu has to wait to be blessed by me. But I don't have to wait to be blessed by me. I am self-evident. So the world is not self-evident. It has to be validated, it has to wait to be validated by me. This is a very important point that I have to really think about. And I dismiss it summarily. What are you talking about? Because our thinking is the world is very large and I'm just a small one. But if I were to dispel that wrong notion, the way to dispel that is to see the truth about the world. And that is that see that it and we will develop this in more detail as we go along. Anyway, to summarize verse number 11, which is the verse which has to do with the chit aspect of it, jyotihi. Yeah, I think I'll stop there because then a slightly different line of thinking begins on number 12. So let's see if I left anything out. Yeah, so I think this would be good to see. So he gives the example, Swami Maheshananji. So he goes to the example of the rope and the snake. And in the example of the rope and the snake, the satta of the rope depends upon the satta of the satta of the snake depends on the satta of the rope. Without the satta, the reality of the rope, there is no reality of the snake. Right? So just think about it, that the length of the snake is the length of the rope. The undulations of the snake are the undulations of the rope. The thickness is also the thickness of the rope. Everything is so on. So this is the satta part of it. But now you look at the jnanam part of it. In the jnanam, the same thing is occurring. So the knowledge of the snake depends upon the knowledge of the rope. And the knowledge of the rope is because of the satta of the rope. And not only that, actually there's even more, because you have to see, you should have seen a rope beforehand. So you must have a knowledge of the rope which forms as the basis, but it's distorted knowledge because now fear comes in and turns the rope into a snake. In fact, some other time, we don't have the time right now, I read this beautiful analysis by Swami Maheshananji, where he says that whenever an error is made, as in the case of the rope and snake, there has to be a lot of similarity. There has to be a lot of similarity. And you have to have some differences. Because if it is completely similar, there'll be like two ropes and then both of them will look like rope. But one looks completely different from the other one, even though it is very similar. Right? So he made the point, which will take you a long time for us to discuss. Not long, but we will discuss it some other time. That when you see the Jagat, the Jagat that you see is similar to the Atma, even though it is opposite to the Atma. And the similarity of the Atma comes from Satyam Jnanam Anantam. It is there, it is the very source of knowledge, and it is Ananda given. And those things also apply to the Jagat, but in a distorted way. So the point he made was a beautiful point, that you cannot mistake the Jagat to be real unless it is similar to you. Just like you cannot make a mistake about a snake unless the snakeness and the ropeness are very similar. Beautiful point. Really nice. Anyway, this requires more time and more analysis, so we will do that some other time. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Yeah.
So, Guruji, we were discussing about similarities between Swapnavastha and Jagratavastha.
Correct.
So, the way we see a Swapna is there is something outside, there's a projection, and we are a character or one of the entities in that.
Yes.
So, the projection is done by the mind, we can say, which is probably the Jivatma.
Yeah.
And the character is also the Jivatma in the
Yeah.
Swapna. But in Jagrat Avastha, the projection is done by Ishvara.
I would say a partnership. Partnership between Ishvara and Jiva. So anyway, finish your question. If that's what, so you were saying it is done by Ishvara.
So there is a lot of difference, right? Where is the similarity? Because
okay, I see what you're saying. So there also what happens is that the dissimilarities are, it is done by Ishvara and Jiva together. In the first one also it is done by Ishvara and Jiva together also, but the Ishvara allows you to just dream on by yourself without any externality to it. Whereas in the Jagrat Avastha, your karmas have brought you to a point where you see the world in a particular way. And so, and the Ishvara creates a world based on the karma phala which was done by you as a karmi. You see? So the Ishvara's participation in this building process is there, but you are the one who brought yourself to a point. So for example, supposing you have, I'm just taking a weird example, but supposing one is born without any mind. There are people that perhaps are born without any ability to think and so on. And or they are physically handicapped or something, or someone, let's say, who was born okay, but they went into a coma. Oh, that's the thing I'm talking about. In a coma, I don't know if they dream or not. Probably not. I'm not sure of that. But assuming that they don't, so now Ishvara's handiwork is useless there because the person in a coma cannot see that. So there is a combination. That's all I'm saying is it's a combination of Ishvara and Jiva both. It is not as though they are diametrically opposite. The Jiva is nothing but a manifestation of Ishvara, like a wave is a manifestation of the ocean. And how big a wave you are and where you are and how you view the rest of the ocean depends on your own karma. So they are not as dissimilar as you think it to be. But they are an extension. Yeah.
Okay. So Swapna Avastha, can we say that it is unreal, rather asat? And
no, it is mithya in the definition of the asat. So there are three levels. One is asat, one is mithya, and the third one is sat. Right? So anything which appears has to be in the classification of the number 2, which is mithya. Asat means that it is not possible to be there. Although if you are there in the morning class on, if you remember the definition of the sat, remember that? I know those are not there, forgive me, but we were talking about that when it is atyanta sat, atyanta abhavaha, there also it is possible for you to impute some bhava into that abhava. Okay? So the atyanta bhava that we saw was the rabbits of a horn. The rabbits of a horn are not possible at all. But someone may not know this and impute a hornness on the rabbit, like a young child. But anyway, to answer your question, the Swapnavastha should be classified as mithya, as the Jagrat Avastha. Both of them are mithya. They are neither sat, neither asat. They are something in between. Yeah.
One more question.
Yeah.
So, in Taittiriya Upanishad, we saw the different steps for the creation of the world, like Akashad.
Correct. Akashad, Vayu, Vayu, Agni. Yes.
So in Swapna Avastha also, is it the sequence of steps or is it instant?
No, so the thing is that even in Taittiriya Upanishad's explanation of the sequence is only from the standpoint of the constituents of the creation. So it's not as though in the beginning there was only Akasha, then slowly Vayu came, and then it's not like that. But it is simply talking about the constituents, how they came about. But everything was all sudden, instantaneous, even in that case also. Swapna also is instantaneous, and the whole Jagrat is also instantaneous. Yeah, both of them are instantaneous. Yeah. Yeah.
When, as we realize, when we come out of dream,
Yeah.
that what we dreamt was not the reality.
Right.
You said the Maya is playing a bigger dream,
Mhm.
is creating this
Yeah.
reality, which is the conscious things that, or I think that is
Correct.
real. Now, just like I've woken up from the dream,
Yeah.
is it that when we leave this world, that the consciousness suddenly realizes that this is not the reality? Now, if that is the case, what is the reason that we have to take birth again?
So to wake up, you need to be alive in a Jagrat Avastha. So, Prabodha Samaye Sakshat Karanat, that's what is talked about. This is what we will say. So, the waking up of the from the Jagrat Avastha, to say that the Jagrat Avastha is just nothing but a projection on me, can only be done when you are alive. So, if you were to give up this body without understanding that, then you continue to follow the laws of karma, which will necessitate a new body for you. You will continue to search. In other words, your search is not complete. But when understanding comes that this is nothing, I am searching for the wrong thing. I am what I am. I don't need to do this. Then you don't need another body. So this is what is called a Jivan Mukta. So Jivan Mukta is one who is Mukta while he is alive. And it can only, the Jivan Mukti can only take place when you are alive. Yes, technically there is another Mukti which is called Krama Mukti. So Krama Mukti means that finally you go to finer and finer lokas, finally going to Brahma Loka. But even in Brahma Loka, you are still as a jiva, but your place there is exalted because Brahmaji himself will teach you. Vijay Kapoor will not be there. And Brahmaji will just explain it so well that you'll say, wow. Here you might struggle. What did he say again last week? Can you please repeat this verse and so on? No such thing like that. Brahmaji is best teacher of the whole world. But there also the mukti takes place. There you can say that you will have Jivan Mukti in Brahma Loka. But Jivan Mukti is essential. You cannot really do this while you are dead. Because only a jiva has to get mukti. Yeah. The rest of you are all clear. No, not confused.
I have one question.
Yeah.
So just continuing with the same
Yeah.
thought. So when one wakes up from the dream,
Mhm.
it says that you undergo this process of sakshatkar.
Mhm.
Right? But in my experience, normally when one wakes up from the dream, you just say, thank God, it was a dream.
Mhm.
But you are not very aware of the fact that you are the consciousness, and consciousness is the real thing and the dream is the mithya thing. we don't undergo that kind of thinking when we wake up from the dream.
No, but just you're saying, thank goodness it was just a dream. You cannot say that unless you have a comparison of something which is more real than the dream. Yeah. It's just that out of the frying pan into the fire, you've now gone into another state, which itself is another problem. But compared to the dream, you are certainly better off because you could not say what you just said, that, oh, thank goodness it was a dream, especially if it was a nightmare. Then it is the relief that was gone. A similar relief will come one day when we understand, when we completely understand. We will, absolutely, no question about that. Same thing will occur. The whole world will cease to be a problem. And it will happen even slowly. Suddenly also it will happen, but slowly you will see that it seems to bother you less and less and less. Finally, with the work that we are doing, with our efforts and so on, it will completely cease. And then it will be a wonder. And so the only difference would be that in the case of waking up from a dream, the dream cannot even be recreated. Whereas here, for the rest of the life while you are alive, you will begin to see things, but in a completely different light altogether. Because your prarabdha karmas are still going on. In fact, you may have problems with the body and so on and so forth. But the way you will look at it is completely different. It's no longer imprisonment. You're not a prisoner of that. It will be a completely different experience. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
When are you going to start the meditation?
So I think that when we finish the verse, so perhaps we can even do that beforehand, but certainly when we finish the commentary on a verse, then we will dwell on it. And perhaps we'll do more often. I know you've been asking for it, and we will do, I think, we will do more meditation. Yeah. Okay. Yes?
Sorry, I'm holding everybody. My question is very short. So, a person who is almost like a sthit prajna, or say, Jivan Mukta,
Yeah.
he will not need the validation of this birth.
Correct.
Personality also.
Yeah. Yeah, your own person. There's no validation necessary.
Means he will not be influenced by the things up or down.
Correct. Absolutely not. No way. No way. No way. Absolutely not. Yeah. All right. So we'll see you next week.